You join us here in Portimão as we prepare for what will undoubtedly be a magnificent day of racing. It's time, of course, for the Portuguese Grand Prix. So Portimão features 15 turns over the course of its 2.9-mile length. 9 are right-handers, 6 are to the left. This is a track with a lot of uphill action, which only accentuates the importance of getting those exits right, especially at turn 4, where a good line can present opportunities to pass on the way into turn 5. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. What a great lap from Alexander Albon yesterday. He'll start from pole position. And Yuki Tsunoda completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Stroll, Norris, Oscar Piastri, Sargent, Verstappen, Russell, Joe, Sainz, Gasly, Bottas, Leclerc, Perez, Ocon, and Lewis Hamilton rounds off the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. The formation lap gets underway here in Portugal, and the fans have come out in large numbers. They're all hoping to see an exciting race unfold here today. So as all the cars reform the grids, the drivers will be hoping to get a strong start. They'll want to earn some valuable points from today's race, with final communications being done with their race engineers, ensuring the planned strategies are all in place.
What the f was he doing? Unbelievable, guys.
VSC deployed. The virtual safety car has been deployed. We need to keep a positive delta here. Slow down and maintain a positive delta. Okay, the virtual safety car has been deployed. Slow down and maintain a positive delta. There's been an incident resulting in a high level of debris on the track. Be careful. Okay, the safety car is out. Safety car is out. We need to form up at reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive. Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately. Okay, let's get ready to go racing again. The safety car is in this lap. When the field accelerates, remember there's no overtaking until the timing line. Safety car in this lap. Past, make use of the overtake button and see what you can do. Okay, clear. and you've got P15, P15. Okay, Magnussen ahead. Less than a second separates you. They're on fresh softs. Ocon behind. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on fresh softs. Okay, your pit window opens in 9 laps time. DRS is now enabled. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 1.8 seconds. Leclerc is ahead of you. Less than a second separates you. They're on fresh softs. Their tyres are 8 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. And the time last lap was a 1 minute 24.6. This is excellent stuff. You're closing in by 7/10 a lap. Okay, mate, don't worry about the damage. I've got some new strategy options if you go and check your MFD. Copy. Caution. Moved up into P12. P12 now. The points are not too far away. Green flag. Fastest lap at this point in time is a 1:22.7. We don't have the data for that, I'm afraid. P10, you're currently in P10. Leclerc ahead. Okay, the gap is less than a second. Okay, they're on old softs. Xu behind. Okay, they're on old softs. Okay, gap to leader, 12.9 seconds. Your pit window opens in 5 laps time. 5 laps. Gap to your teammate behind is 4.3 seconds. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 0.8 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 12 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. Your last lap time was a 1 minute 24.4. This is great stuff. We're gaining by 0.3 a lap. Good work. Verstappen ahead. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 1.6 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 13 laps old. Okay, we think they've got at least 3 more stops. Time last lap was a 1:24.0. This is excellent stuff. You're closing in by 0.7 a lap. Okay, we're approaching the pit window. You're going to be on softs.
Oh, it's like Yuki.
Car's okay, but f***ing hell.
Keep your head down, Yuki. Keep your head down.
Okay, gap to the car ahead is 1.3 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Okay, they've done 15 laps on those tyres. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. And the time last lap was a 1 minute 24.6. All right, you're falling back by 1/10 a lap. Past, make use of the overtake button and see what you can do. Okay, the pit window's open, so let's box this lap, box this lap. You've got 2 stops remaining now, 2 stops remaining in this strategy. Okay, P15. You're in P15. Verstappen's ahead of you. Our gap to the car in front is 7.2 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Okay, Sonoda's behind you. Okay, push, push. Gap to the car behind. 1.9 seconds. They're on fresh softs. 16 laps now until your pit window opens. And that's 49 laps to go. George is in the pits. He's in the pits now. Okay, gap ahead is 7.7 seconds. Okay, car behind trailing us, 2.5 seconds. by 16.4 seconds. It's Verstappen ahead, and gap to the car in front is 7.8 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. Your last lap time was a 1:21.5. Okay, so the car behind's just come in. They're now on a soft tyre. Soft tyres on the car behind. Okay, so the gap to the car ahead, 6.5 seconds. Behind is 17.3 seconds. They're on fresh softs. They're currently 16th. Time last lap was a 1:22.0. Ahead of you. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 5.5 seconds. Okay, their tyres are 7 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. And the time last lap was a 1:22.5. And you're closing by 0.4 a lap. Keep it going. Behind. Okay, gap to the car behind. 4.3 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Their tyres are just 1 lap old. We think they've got 1 more stop. Your last lap time was a 1:43.4. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 8.7 seconds. Teammate by 18.2 seconds. Okay, you've got P3, well done. It's Verstappen ahead. Okay, gap to the car ahead is 5.4 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Norris is behind you. Leading the car behind by 3.3 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Our gap to first place is 8.0 seconds. Okay, your pit window opens in 9 laps time, and that's 42 laps to go. Okay, let's see if we can catch the car ahead. Gap currently 5 seconds. Verstappen's ahead of you. Our gap to the car in front is 4.9 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 11 laps old now. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. Time last lap was a 1:22.6, and you're closing by 0.4 a lap. Keep it going. Norris behind. And the gap behind us is 2.9 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Their tyres are 5 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap was a 1 minute 22.2. Okay, gap ahead is 4.5 seconds. Ahead, and gap to the car in front is 3.5 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 13 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. Your last lap time was a 1:23.2. Okay, so you're gaining by around 0.6 a lap. Gap to your teammate behind is 19.4 seconds. Okay, so the gap to the car ahead, 3.6 seconds. Behind is 1.9 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 8 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap was a 1 minute 22.4. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 3.7 seconds. Currently in P3. Verstappen's ahead of you. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 3.9 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Norris behind. Less than a second separates you. Okay, they're on old softs. Okay, so gap to the leader is 11.2 seconds. Your pit window is going to open in 3 laps time. Pit window opens in 3 laps. And there's 36 laps to go. Approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums.
Just turned in on me.
The underbody's taken a little damage, just watch out for it. The underbody's taken some damage, you might start to notice it soon. Tyre condition still looking good. Okay, we think the underbody's incurred some slight damage, but nothing too serious at the moment, just be careful. Okay, we're boxing this lap, give us the best in lap you can. Okay, off we go, back into the race. Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. All right, we'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in this strategy. Got 11th, that's 11th place. Okay, gap to the car ahead is 1.8 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Magnussen's behind you. Less than a second separates you. Okay, they're on old softs. The distance to the leader is 37.6 seconds. Your pit window opens in 15 laps time. Okay, 32 laps to go. Verstappen's just put up the fastest lap of the race so far. George is in the pits. He's in the pits now. Our gap behind is 2.0 seconds. Nice move, good job. Hulkenberg ahead. Okay, the gap is less than a second. Okay, they're on old softs. Okay, they've done 15 laps on those tyres. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap was a 1:24.3. Gasly ahead. Our gap to the car in front is 5.1 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Okay, they've done 15 laps on those tyres. We think they've got one more stop. Your last lap time was a 1:23.9. Okay, gap ahead is 4.1 seconds. The car ahead's losing 2 seconds a lap to you. Good job. Okay, you're creating some breathing space between you and the car behind by a few seconds a lap. Really good stuff. Currently, the fastest lap is at 1:20.8. Sorry, we can't provide you with that information right now. our teammate by 24.1 seconds. They're on fresh softs. They're currently 16th. Time last lap was a 1 minute 21.3. Out of the race. Yellow flag. Track is clear, green flag. And you've got P7, 7th place. Leclerc is ahead of you, and gap to the car in front is 6.3 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Gasly behind. Okay, they're on old softs. Okay, gap to leader, 30.0 seconds. You've got 10 laps until your pit window opens. Pit window opens in 10 laps. 27 laps to go. Fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Okay, so the gap to the car ahead, 1.7 seconds. P6, you got P6. Stroll ahead. Less than a second separates you. Okay, they're on old softs. Leclerc is behind you. Okay, the gap is less than a second. Okay, they're on old softs. Our gap to first place is 26.2 seconds. Your pit window will be open in 7 laps time. 24 laps to go. Just ahead, push for the position. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 11.0 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Okay, they've done 22 laps on those tyres. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap was a 1:23.4. We're gaining by around 2 tenths per lap. Keep going. Norris is stopping now. Verstappen ahead. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 11.5 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 12 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Your last lap time was a 1:22.0. And you're closing by 4 tenths a lap. Keep it going. Gap to the car ahead is 10.5 seconds. second place. You're in second place. Verstappen's ahead of you. Our gap to the car in front is 10.0 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Alonso behind you now. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 3.4 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Your pit window is going to open in 3 laps time. Pit window opens in 3 laps. You've got 20 laps left until the end. Okay, we're approaching the pit window. You're going to be on softs. That last lap was a 1:22.0. Dropping a second a lap to the car behind. 1 second.
Box and pit confirm, Max. Box, pit confirm.
In this lap, push now. let's go, come on. That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting. That was our last stop, no more scheduled pit stops, let's go. Currently sat in 6th. Leclerc ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 3.7 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. That's Stroll behind you. Okay, push, push. Gap to the car behind. 2.0 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Okay, so gap to the leader is 24.5 seconds. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. All right, 16 laps to go. Car behind trailing us, 2.9 seconds. We've got a gap of about 3 seconds between you and the next car. Leclerc is ahead of you, and gap to the car in front is 3.3 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 8 laps old. Time last lap was a 1 minute 21.5. Got a lot of spare energy, okay to use your overtake button. The fastest lap at this point in time is a 1:20.0. We don't currently have the data for that request. Job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. Brilliant, nice move, keep going. P5, P5. Piastri's ahead of you. Less than a second separates you. They're on old mediums. Leclerc behind. Okay, gap to the car behind. 1.3 seconds. They're on old mediums. The distance to the leader is 20.9 seconds. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Okay, 12 laps to go. Okay, so the gap to the car ahead, 7.0 seconds. Lando's ahead of you now. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 6.6 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 11 laps old now, and the time last lap was a 1 minute 21.9. 1.2 seconds advantage per lap. Keep going. Starting to catch the car in front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop. The underbody's taken a little damage, just watch out for it. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Good work, we're in P4. Lando ahead. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 5.3 seconds. They're on old mediums. Piastri's behind you now. We're leaving the car behind by 2.5 seconds. They're on old mediums. Okay, gap to leader, 19.4 seconds. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. Okay, we're into the last 10 laps now. The car behind is dropping back. We're seeing a gap starting to form. Okay, gap to the car ahead is 4.1 seconds. push for the position. Our gap to the car in front is 3.7 seconds. They're on old mediums. Your last lap time was a 1:22.1. Good job, you're gaining by a full second a lap at the moment. Radar is clear, weather is looking good for now. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment. Okay, gap ahead is 2.1 seconds. Lando's ahead of you now, and gap to the car in front is 1.0 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 16 laps old. Time last lap was a 1:22.0. Right, you're closing in by around 1.4 seconds a lap. You're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep it up. Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place. Okay, you've got P3. P3, well done. It's Verstappen ahead. Okay, so the gap to the car ahead, 0.0 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Norris is behind you. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on old mediums. Our gap to first place is 16.6 seconds. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. Okay, just 5 laps until the end. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 13.8 seconds. Verstappen's ahead of you. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 13.7 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 13 laps old. And the time last lap was a 1:21.6. Okay, so you're gaining by around 0.6 a lap. No issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of it. Norris behind. And the gap behind us is 2.6 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 19 laps old. Your last lap time was a 1:22.6. Gap to the car ahead is 13.9 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Norris is behind you. Okay, the gap behind is 3.2 seconds. They're on old mediums. Okay, so gap to the leader is 15.6 seconds. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 2 laps left. Next time by will be your final lap. Our gap to the car in front is 0.1 seconds. Lap of the race, final lap. We're increasing our gap on the car behind by around a second a lap.
Yes, baby.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
It's time to present the top drivers with their trophies for today's Grand Prix. And there are a lot of people in the paddock very happy with this result. It's Aston Martin on the top step. So then, Natalie Pinkham, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I think it has to be Fernando Alonso. He got the strategy spot on and consistently had the pace to come through as well.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.